Hello there friends, we're continuing our marathon of wild transfers in the pro scene. While we were only discussing Cloud9 and Heroic, apparently some reshuffling is also in the cards for Navi. Alright, let's break down what's happening in the pro scene and take a peek at Blast Showdown, where there's an exquisite match between Cloud9 and G2. Without further ado, let's get straight to it. As always, let's kick things off with the roster shuffles. Zonic has left Vitality, which is pretty much confirmed as he announced it himself. Hence, the Vitality squad urgently needs a new coach. After all, being the top of HLTV rankings and not having a coach isn't a really good look. Based on the scoops from the same insider, KRL, who was the first to talk about Zonic's departure, the new coach might be X-Stas, you know him. And almost immediately after, news surfaced that he's officially parting ways with TSM and is halfway to his old club. Overdrive states that it's a done deal, he's returning to coach Vitality. But what's the scoop on Zonic joining Falcons? There's been a lot of chatter and I've gathered the juiciest bits for you. Last video we discussed the official move confirmed by the coach himself, and now the Falcons director also revealed that Zonic would have complete freedom. There's also rumors that Device will be bought for $2 million and the deal is almost done. But now the stakes are even higher. That same insider, KRL, shared that the Falcons plan to completely disrupt the market. DUPREEH, Magisk, NIKO, MONESY and Twist are on the radar. It might take a whopping $7 million to buy them out, if not the whole $10 million. I didn't honestly believe that they'd go for such big names, but it looks like the sheiks are ready to shower the pro scene with cash. How much for NIKO and MONESY? Doesn't matter, they'll just throw in a little extra for Hunter. Even though all insiders state that Falcons are aiming to scoop the top talents only, no one can agree on which specific player they want. According to Overdrive, the team might include players from Astralis, G2, Vitality and FaZe. This clicks what KRL says, but other sources suggest that Magisk is nearly signed for Falcons. He'd follow his coach anywhere, so it's plausible. It's also in line with what Overdrive says. Falcons themselves are just taking a laugh about this and responding that they might sign Neymar next. Then Harumi stepped in and said that KRL is just hyping really. Recently, KRL has been spitting a lot of nonsense, or maybe just clickbaiting. It's time to unveil the truth and confirm various rumors. In Falcons, we will have -4, no more specifics. The rumors about Magisk are true, those about Device, NIKO and MONESY are pure fiction. In Vitality, two untouchables are ZywOo and Apex, everyone else could be sold, supposedly due to financial strains within the organization. It's intriguing how a team that just have won the major might have financial issues, but then again, FaZe managed to lose all their assets despite their team's dominant performance the last year. Every day there's a new rumor, each more sensational than before, from Device now to MONESY and NIKO. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow there's news about Simple and ZywOo, but in reality a lot will depend on where the current free agents land. You haven't forgotten that Cadian and Glaive are actively looking for teams, with DUPREEH testing waters in both Heroic and NIP. Let's now discuss the other reshuffles. According to Harumi, Hampus will definitely leave NIP, so they're in the hunt for a new captain. Currently, they are considering two potential candidates, Glaive and Cadian. Both Overdrive and Harumi have reported on this. Right now, NIP has a choice between two completely different playstyles. They could lean towards Cadian, emphasizing discipline and emotion, or they might find Glaive's structured and tactical approach more suitable. It's two different directions, and it's still unclear which they will choose. There are also rumors about Glaive possibly moving to Heroic. Pro player NatosFX commented on this. I read some rumors that Glaive might be joining Heroic as IGL. If that's the case, I sincerely hope we get to see Stav in main OP. This guy is so freaking talented, he could be the next Device Simple category. And by the way, that's partly confirmed by Overdrive. He mentioned that Stavn is genuinely switching to OP. However, Harumi on the other hand says that Glaive will never move to Heroic. It's more a matter of principle, similar to Cadian not joining Astralis. Like, you know, imagine Ronaldo moving to Barcelona or Messi to Real Madrid. Here's what Harumi says. Cadian definitely won't join Astralis and Glaive won't go to Heroic. Glaive indeed was tested as a captain in NIP, but nothing's finalized yet. So for now, all we can do is wait for confirmations. It'll be intriguing to see the choices made and the reasons behind them. Personally, I feel that NIP would benefit from Glaive's structured approach, and I'd love to see Cadian paired with Zonic. That would be just banging. Friends, what do you think? Who's going where, and where would you like to see other players? I'd be interested to hear your opinions down in the comments below. Next up, we're looking at Liquid, and some inexplicable things are happening there. As many of you know, they recently benched Rainwaker, with DUPREEH stepping in temporarily. Clearly, this is just a short-term solution, especially with the rumors of them being in talks with Cadian. They need a strong fifth player because the team's not really delivering as expected, but then Liquid defeated Forsaken in the American Blast Showdown just yesterday. DUPREEH has the solid 50 frags across 3 maps, and it seems that everyone's pleased. Yikinder commented post-game, "We didn't have time to change the system, so I'm still playing the IGL role for now. Once the tournaments shift to CS2, DUPREEH will take over the leadership completely. Maybe he'll stick around and we won't look for another player. Right now we're experimenting and just playing. If it's good, it's good. If not, obviously we'll consider other options." So wait, Liquid is genuinely considering their coach as their permanent fifth player? DUPREEH, who retired a year and a half ago to coach, might be on the verge of their legendary comeback. It's certainly an interesting move. Imagine if Blade stepped in as the fifth player for Navi right now. That would be quite a sensation. By the way, let's talk about Navi a little. We can have some unexpected roster changes in Natus Vincere. Jonas mentioned it, and there were other hints on Twitter. But it seems now that these aren't just theories. Hirumi dropped a bomb yesterday hinting that Navi might be parting ways with Ime. The rumors suggest that he didn't gel well with the team, didn't feel at ease, and his performance has been noticeably weaker than during the major. And despite their good run to the EPL finals, it looks like they want a sharper shooter for CS2. It's quite unexpected, especially considering that they've just built this team and the results were okay at least. Ime even recently made a positive tournament KD for the first time with a 1.10 rating at EPL. During the major, for instance, he had a 1.35. Who do you think they could recruit as a replacement? Given Navi's shift to English communications and the numerous players becoming available, they have quite a few choices. From DUPREEH and Zepnix to maybe even Cadian, who might settle as a primary AWPer, or perhaps even Hobbit, who might part ways with Cloud9, or Buster maybe. Harumi also chimed in, suggesting players who would be perfect replacements. Hobbit, K from 9, Insani from MIBR, or even MONESY. Out of all of the mentioned options, I only favor MONESY. He isn't the most consistent, but when he's on fire, he's unstoppable. Plus, he has significantly more Tier 1 experience than Ime, and he can also call. He's a core team player. But all of this remains just speculation, and maybe there will be no changes at all. And now let's shift to Cloud9. As you might remember, there were rumors that DUPREEH could be the new captain of the team. He was leaving one win to reunite with Electronic and Perfecto in a dream team trio. Everyone seems to be talking about it. For instance, here's what Boobski had to say. Cloud9 simply has to make a change. Their offensive play looks terrible. When I see a team making changes, it usually starts with the defense. Perhaps this is because of the rumors about replacing Hobbit. I guess they're already planning something in advance to ease DUPREEH's integration. If you believe the online rumors, Cloud9 is essentially a dead team right now. However, all this turned out to be denied as DUPREEH's transfer got cancelled, at least for now. Yesterday, during the match against G2, Cloud9's analyst mentioned that Hobbit is now the captain. Electronic has returned to his old position from the Navi days, where he was the playmaker and made mid-round calls but wasn't the IGL, just like how it was with DUPREEH. Hobbit was given the last chance, and now he's temporarily captaining for the upcoming tournaments. They will definitely head to IM Sydney with the current roster, and Hobbit will be the IGL. If it works out, he'll remain the captain. If not, they'll reconsider. It seems Electronic has finally come to terms with the idea that you don't need to be an in-game leader. As for DUPREEH, there were indeed talks, but it didn't progress further. DUPREEH will most likely renew his contract and stay with OneWin. Deco made a joke about this, and all analysts are thrilled with the news. Banks said he always wanted Hobbit to be the captain from the get-go. Maui Snake mentioned that now the Cloud9 era has truly begun. Well, the whole situation is kinda weird, you know. They removed Nefani for Electronic to be the new captain, and in the end they made Hobbit do it. It's interesting to see how will they perform now. Finally, let's take a look at the Blast Showdown. While all other tournaments are already being played on CS2, we're still observing good old CSGO. For those unfamiliar, this tournament is a qualifier for Blast Finals. This one features both partner teams who didn't make it out of the group stage like G2 and non-partners who qualify through other sets of qualifiers such as Cloud9 or ENCE. Only one team will advance to the finals, so there's no lower bracket safety net. It's do or die. Let's see how the teams are sending off CSGO. Now you can see the bracket with the results of the already played matches. In the quarterfinals of the upper bracket, BIG faced off against 9 and ENCE took on the newly formed Swedish squad, Alliance. Both matches went as expected. BIG easily handled the pulls from 9, who recently have been underperforming honestly, especially on their signature map Vertigo. ENCE, on the other hand, effortlessly took down Alliance. But the first semi-final match didn't go as most predicted. The Germans confidently took down the current world number 2 team. Perhaps Snappy and the crew have been intensely training on CS2 and that's why they were so bad at CSGO, or maybe BIG just had a good stride. Regardless, BIG proceeds and now they're just one step away from Blast finals. The second finalist will be decided by the results of the matches in the lower part of the bracket. Here Cloud9 faced off against Movistar Riders. The Spaniards made a significant noise at the ESL Pro League, so they're no easy opponents. Especially for the current Cloud9 lineup, which has a lot of uncertainties in it. You know, all the roster changes rumors, the pressure they're feeling and the speculations around them, that stuff. But on paper, Cloud9 should steamroll over Movistar Riders purely based on firepower, and okay, that's what happened. Shiro, Electronic and Perfecto each achieved a rating over 1.4, and they left no chance for the Spaniards. The next opponent for Cloud9 was decided in the last quarterfinals, G2 against OG. I believe no one here expected OG to win. However, HooXi's team managed to add some drama by losing their map pick, Ancient. Despite winning the T side and the pistol round on the CT side, G2 struggled. Luckily, the guys pulled themselves together and showed a solid game on the decisive Inferno. Thus, G2 and Cloud9 move on and will face off in the semi-finals. The interesting part here is that the winner of this encounter will most likely advance to the Blast finals. It was indeed a juicy battle. On Cloud9's pick, Anubis, they were very shaky at the beginning. If G2 hadn't missed out on 100% situations, the score would have been devastating. Like for example in this round, where Cloud9 played horribly, leaving them in a 2v4 but still managed to pull through.
Strike, it has to do something in this round. NIKO's caught and he should be ready for that second heat because mid is completely compromised. Shiro even drops a little further back into the camera, and Hobbit needed to sink that one. He does. Now Shiro turns on MONESY, and JKS left the clutch. A 1v2, and he's found himself a headshot on Shiro. Now down to Hobbit. Position reconfirmed to be at the double doors, and JKS wants to save a round, but he won't be able to do it. Cloud9 steal one away at the end of the first half.
So instead of a possible 12-3 lead, G2 ended up with a 9-6. Little did they know how fierce Cloud9's attack would be in the second half. I'm not sure if it's Hobbit's or Electronic's deeds or perhaps the entire team just woke up, but they didn't give G2 a single chance in their defense, winning 10 consecutive rounds without a single one from G2 in the second half. Hobbit probably deserves a lot of credit for this. It looks like he has fully embraced the IGL role and now he seems to have out-strategized HooXi completely. Unlike Electronic, who on Anubis played through mid primarily, Hobbit stretched the defense. Like here when it was 14-9. A hard A push, creating havoc for HooXi. But it was just a diversion and the real action was at B. It ended up being an easy 16-9 win for Cloud9. And now onto the next one. Things on Inferno looked much tougher for Cloud9 compared to Anubis. After losing the defense side 10-5, they desperately needed to turn things around. Especially with Perfecto left in a 1v4 during the pistol round. You can probably guess what happened next.
Default. And NIKO and HooXi take a deep breath and mentally reset coming into this. They know they've got extra time to play because they've got that kit, but NIKO's gone and now it's HooXi. Perfecto sees exactly where his next victim is. He'll drop into the site, looks to reposition, and HooXi it all right in front of him, but Perfecto, he's pulled it off.
After Perfecto's heroics, Cloud9 managed a great comeback, but as soon as they tied the score, G2 fired back with a pistol round win. Perhaps Hobbit overestimated their strength, attempting a B rush into G2's fortified side. This time, NIKO with the Deagle and Hunter in close quarters made them pay. The Cloud9 comeback was halted. G2 managed to grab the momentum, leveling the series 1-1.
Off is out.
That's beautiful work from JKS, but that's all they get, is JKS and MONESY with 1 each, and then it all falls apart. But Hunter has a timing to make this play, and he will indeed, coming through. Oh, he should have another, but Shiro, quick shot. HP didn't matter, but now it will, because NIKO rushes in. And that smoke actually might be his undoing. Shiro peeks into it, and NIKO's patient. Oh.
Everything was to be decided on Ancient. Cloud9 dominated from the start, crushing G2 10-5 in the defense and always keeping G2's economy strained. G2's only glimmer of hope came at 14-7. This was their chance to get back into the game, but Exile had other plans, winning 1v4.
Oh, he's just done it! Oh, did he win? Deagle has time, right? There is time. There is... No? Holy shit. Oh no!
Oh my god! What the hell?
That was juicy. Exile, a beast on the server. These fast rotations will haunt G2 for a while. Cloud9 advanced to the Blast Showdown finals.
At short, remove Shiro from contention, and he's taking bullets whizzing past him from all different directions. MONESY will not be able to get it done, and Cloud9 will end G2.
Hobbit's captaincy turned out to be quite successful. Essentially, on all 3 maps, Cloud9 looked solid on the attack. Here's what Perfecto had to say post-match. Hobbit took on the IGL role for the tournament. We tried swapping roles on Anubis and Ancient. On Ancient's B plant, he found it challenging to both call and play. He can't do that without a full view of the map. Electronic wanted to return to his Beast role, the very same Electronic. Guys, that's just great news. The older Electronic is back. If everything goes as planned, Cloud9 will definitely dominate. They will face BIG in the spot for the Blast finals, but I will talk about this match in the next episode. By the way, this was NIKO's worst tournament in 4 years, not even having a positive rating. Maybe it's time to switch to Falcons? Anyways, that's all from me, friends. Thank you kindly for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything CS2 related. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.